various modes in the calculator and their functions. And so when we pick the calculator, it's having various modes, and the first mode is the component mode or the compound mode. So it is the free mode, which is also in the degree, and in this mode you can perform your regular mathematical addition, subtraction, and other operations in the calculator. And so these are the examples that we are going to cite on the calculator. Example: pressing on the 7, pressing on the sign of 3, and the other functions. But let's say if I put -1 in the calculator, what is going to be the result? It's telling me that mass error. Mass error because compound is not complex. So we go to choose the second mode, which is complex 2. So we press mode, then you pick 2, which is complex. In this mode, it allows to put in complex numbers. Example: 2i plus 6i, which is gonna be 8i. If you leave it in the compound mode, that is the first mode, mode 1, it's not going to give you this correct answer. Now let's type in the -1 in the root and see. It gives us I. So root of -1 is I. But your calculator have to be in the complex mode before it can give you an answer. If not, it's going to give you what? Mass error. Alright. So when I put root of 1, is still 1. So 1 root of 1 is still in the same, both in the complex and the compound. So if I put negative of negative root, so I'm gonna get the negative root 1, which is going to be complex I. Then the negative outside will multiply it to become negative I. If I put a bracket inside, let's see the function of the bracket. Sorry, the bracket is supposed to come outside. So let me just clean it. So when you hit, you have to hit the arrow key so that the cursor can move out before you put the bracket close. And you square it. And I'm going to get my -1 because the square is going to cancel the square, leaving -1. And here the root is not actually affecting the -1. So let's look at the third mode, which is the statistics. Great. So pick the first variable. And this is mostly used when you have an ungrouped data. So the data is just given to you. They ask to find the mean, the mode, the maximum, or the minimum. You're going to use this one. So it means you only have one frequency, which is the X. So I just type in random numbers. So remember, this one, I'm just typing in the numbers. And now you press AC. Go back to mode. Then you press shift and then 1 to get back your data. And also press shift 1, choose variable or the sum. If I want the sum, I'll pick the sum. So I can get the sum of x, that's sigma x. If I want the sigma y or sigma x square, I'll pick the first one. So the sum of the x is what? 18. Now I want to know number of items, that's n. Remember, when you find the mean is sigma x over n. So what's my n? I'm going to find that one too on the calculator. But this is the x square, summation of x square. In case you are dealing with the regression or coefficients of regression, then you can be good to go. Now the mean is the 2 over there. I can easily pick the 2. So anytime you want to get this data, just press the shift and then 1, and you are going to get it. So the n there means the number of times, which is the 1. The 2 is the summation or the mean. Let me put that the mean. The mean of those figures are kept inside is 3.6, and we can verify that using the summation of x, that is 2, over summation of n, that's the total number of items. So sigma x divided by n. So shift mode, So I saved 1, then you select variable, then 1 n, and then hit the equal sign. So we are going to get the same result as 3.6. Alright, so that is how to get the mean, the summation of those items, and then other stuff. Now let's see what if the data is 2, and mostly that's what we use. So given the values of x and values of y, and the y mostly we use as the frequency, so sigma f, and then x. So the x is the values of x, and the y becomes the values of what? The frequencies. Alright, so when I want to get the sigma fx, it means it will be sigma xy in the mathematical term. Alright, so I'm just keying in random data so that we can easily see how the example goes. Do you see the maximum number here is 456? That is in the frequency side, that is in the y. So we are going to look out for all those, the maximum, the minimum, and then the summation and the mean as well. Okay, so summation of 1 is x squared, y squared. So mostly these ones are used when you are dealing with the regression, coefficients of regression, correlation coefficients, and others are mostly in the statistics class. We're going to use these to help us solve it. So this is sigma fx, but in the correlation class it's just xy, because that one we are using x and y. But in case where we have been given the data and the frequency, we are going to use what? Sigma fx. Alright, so the x becomes our x, and then the y becomes our f. Now sigma fx over n is giving you as the mean. So this is the mean for that data we have keyed inside. So sigma fx over n, and you can confirm that by picking the same process, shift 1, then you go to variable. You see, you can have the standard deviation is over there, the regression coefficient is the 3, the standard deviation is the 4. Okay, so this is the regression coefficient, that is 0.125. in case we are dealing with regression, correlations, regression coefficients, and those stuff, we are going to use this one to get it. Okay, and with the same data we could get it. Alright, so don't forget to like to this channel, subscribe, and more to the point, hit the notification button so you will not be exempted when I bring out more. So here we are seeing the maximum and the minimum, which is a 6. Maximum and the minimum. So the maximum of x, the maximum number of x, and the minimum number of x, and we have the maximum number of y and the minimum number of what? X. Okay, so I picked the minimum number of x, which is 2. The data we typed inside, the minimum number of x is 2, and I pick, let me get that of the y. So we press the shift and 1. Always note the color. You see the shift, the color there is more of like a brown. You come to 1, you see the top there is also brown. So always check the corresponding, whether you are pressing shift or you are pressing alpha. So the maximum of x is 9, but what of the x? The y, and the maximum of y and the minimum of what? Y. So the maximum of y we looked at in when we were clearing the data in, it was 456, and as you have seen it here. Alright, let's go to the next one, which is the number basis. So usually when you go to the number base, it's already in base 10. Deck is in base 10. Okay, so I type in a random data, 12 plus 32 is equal to, and then I have 44, which is in base 10. Now I can press the hex. So mostly hex here is for 16, base 16. Let's don't forget that it's base 16, not base 6. It's base 16. and then the by is what? Base 2, binary operation. So that's base 2. So that's how you solve for number bases. So key in the figure, then you press the required number base you want to change it to, and then you are good to go. Alright, so that is it. We can get more of examples, and then we can get ourselves conversant with them. Alright, so let me key in a different figure. Okay, so let's say I key in 23 plus 32. It's going to give me math error because it is in base 2, and what I kept inside is in base 10, so it's going to give me math errors definitely. And so let me come back to my number base, which is 4, and then I type in something small. So like I said, the hex here is what? Base 16. So 45 in base 16, changing it to base 10 is 69. So 45, so you change it to base 16 before you type in the value. Then you press the deck, it means change it to base 10, and then oct means base 8. And I'm changing it back to base 16 is 45. Okay, so that base it is inside. Then you press a different base, it's going to change it into that particular base. Okay, so let's pick the next mode, which is the equation mode 5. 1 is just the simultaneous equation involving two variables. Simultaneous equation involving two variables. So I type in 5, the coefficient of x is 5, the coefficient of y is 3, which is equal to 5, and then I hit the equal sign. It's going to give me back my x as 0 and the y as 5/3. X is 0 and y is 5/3. Alright, so I can key in a different information and see what I get. The coefficient of x as 1, coefficient of y as 1, and the coefficient of the equal sign is also what? As 1, which is a constant, let me put it that way. Then the coefficient of x for the second equation is also 1. And let's see, it will give me infinite result, infinite solution. It means those particular solutions, they have x plus y equal to 1, then x plus y equal to 1. So we are going to get infinite solution. It's from infinity to infinity, negative infinity to positive infinity. All can satisfy the equation. Okay, so that's why we have it that way. Now the next one is the 2, when you go to the mode of the equation, and that one is the equation of simultaneous equation involving 3 variables. In the same way, you are going to key in the information, and then you hit the equal sign, and you're going to get the value of x, y, and then the z. Alright, note that in the simultaneous equation involving 2 variables, we only have x and y and the constant, which is equal to, okay, and then here we have 3 variables, x, y, and z, and so we make sure you key inside the coefficient correctly. Don't forget the negative attached to the coefficient, it's always important. So we put it inside, then you press the equal sign. You're gonna get your x as -3 over that, and then your z as 40 over that. Alright, the next one is the square completing of squares. X square, usually the general equation is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and so we assume the value of the coefficient of x squared is 2, and the coefficient of b is what we have keyed inside. And so you see that's giving us a complex solution because these numbers are keyed inside are just randomly selected, so definitely it's going to give you what do you call it, the complex number. But I want you to know that this is how we use the part of calculator mode to solve for quadratic equations. So when you have been given any quadratic equation, you're going to use that particular mode. Go to mode 5, and then you select 3, which is in the quadratic equation. Okay, you key inside the coefficients of the various variables. So the first one is the coefficient of x squared, the second is the coefficient of x, and the last one is the constant. All right, then now finally the last one is equations. That's the keep root of equations. So keep equations. Put that way. So we have quadratic equations, then we have keep equations. Okay, so the key inside all the equations. So with the quadratic equation, we have only 2 variables with a constant. In the keep equations, we have 3 variables with a constant. Okay, so I just key it inside, and then we get it that way. Sharp. Oh shit, AC brake, because what I key inside is very heavier than the machine. So it's giving me AC brake. Alright, so we are in matrix. So matrix 1, I want to know which of them will I pick. 3 by 3 matrix, 3 by 2 matrix, 3 by 1, and then in that order. So this is the 3 by 3 matrix I have taken. So let's key inside some values, randomly values, and then we see whether we can find the determinant, whether we can find the multiplication or the addition of this matrix. So far I hope you are getting the understanding of how to use the calculator. I'm just taking you through. So this example we are putting are not actually taken from any source. I'm just randomly keying inside the information. So after putting inside your values in the matrix diagram, press the AC and then go back to shift, and then you press 4 again to get the B. Alright, so okay, so that is it. Now the B, I want to key inside the other information. So I select a 3 by 3 matrix as well, because the first one we used was 3 by 3 matrix. So this one too is going to be 3 by 3 matrix, so that you can easily perform your operations very well. So let me key inside any values. 1, then I have 0, 0. So I'm coming to put inside the identity matrix. So 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, then 0, 0, 1. So we call that the identity matrix. A matrix, when you multiply it or by itself, you get back the same matrix, is the identity matrix. So I got to pick matrix A, shift, then 4, select 3, that's matrix A, the one we entered earlier on, plus matrix B, the one we entered the second round. So you pick shift, 4, and then B again, then you're going to get your solution. So the summation of matrix A plus B is going to give you this particular result, 636, 23. So definitely that's what we have keyed inside the matrix A, because the matrix B is an identity matrix, which is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then 0, 0, 1. Let me subtract, let me see what happens. Okay, so yeah, so in the subtraction you can see the difference here. There was 5, but I have subtracting, I get 4. Hope you are liking the video. Don't forget to hit the notification button, subscribe, and we are good to go. So now I want to multiply the identity matrix. Let's see whether we get back that same matrix. You see that the identity, when you multiply it by the identity, you get back the same matrix. Okay, so we are going to pick the last one. We're gonna look at is the det. That's the determinant. Find the determinant of the matrix we are looking at. So determinant of matrix A, press the equal sign, and the determinant is 14. So the determinant of the matrix we keyed inside is 14. The determinant. So this one you can easily find the determinant when you are in the examination hall. So that is it. Now I want to multiply the determinant by, let's see, what figure should I multiply with? Let's okay, determinant and the determinant of the B. You know the B is a unit matrix, identity matrix. So definitely the determinants of the identity matrix will be 1. So the determinants of A, which is 14, times 1 will still give you what? 14. Okay. Then we have the determinant of B. Let's see what it is. It will give us 1, as I said earlier on. Yes, so the determinant of A, which is 14, times the determinant of B, which is 1, it's gonna give us 14. So the determinant of any unit matrix is 1. The last one is the transpose. That's the inverse of the matrix. And then if we have been given any one, you have to find the inverse, just use that. So the inverse of this particular matrix A is the result that is over here. Okay. Alright, so let's look at table, how to deal with the table. So the table mostly is used when you are dealing with particular functions. You have been given a function, asked to fill a table using that particular equation or function. So you are just type the function inside this place and define your terms. So I have decided that I'll type inside sine or cost of x, and then the g will also be cost of x. Alright, we are starting from 1, and the interval will also be either 2 or 1. You have to choose it. So we are starting from 1, we are ending at 5, and the interval we are leaving in between is what? 2. So these are the results, and mostly those who are doing elective mathematics in the junior high or the senior high level, you will be using this most in your elective maths assignment, especially during the graphing site. You will be asked to complete a particular table and graph it. So you just fix in that particular function that has been given to you inside here, and you are going to get your figures straight away. Maybe it is given to you in degrees, don't worry, put it inside. So whatever equation that has been given to you, put it inside. In commerce, they have given you a particular information equation, let's say 4x squared plus 3, and then they are asking the next equation is sine, or let's see, x sine x, or sine y. Let's put down sine y. So now when you do this way, get this interval. Where do you want to start? From 0. Maybe it's given in degrees, so I want it to be 0, or whichever number I want it to be, starting from 0 and it's ending at 10. And the interval, I want the interval to be 1. Okay, and so it's going to be syntax error. Why? Because the x I kept here is not the normal x. I kept multiplication symbol. So take note of that. So you have to get the x, press the alpha and then the bracket sign. You're gonna get your normal x. Now you guess process with the equal sign. You're going to get your solutions in the table. Okay, so these are the values of the x we have used. We said the x will start from 0, and the interval is 1, and you end at 10. So you have 1 up to what? 10. Okay, and then when you go to the fx, that is the frequency side, you're going to see the same thing. And then when you go to the g, remember the g will keep inside there, and the g2 is 0 because of the x that we have multiplied. Alright, so the last one is the vectors, and also dealing with the vectors, 2 by 3 vectors, and then 1 by 3 vectors. That will help you to easily solve vector equations and other stuff. Alright, so hope you have subscribed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that I can bring in more of such information to you, which will help you in your computer work, examination hall, wherever you are. You want to use a computer to solve easy questions or or even difficult questions in the mathematical examination. It's going to be easy. So I just using now the vector equations. Just follow as I type inside it. So vector a plus b. Remember these are random numbers I just kept inside. And then our answer is 6. You can find a dot product of those particular two vectors. Dot product. Don't get a dot of a, dot of vector a. So vector a is 3, and then dot vector b, dot vector b, which is 4, with the equal sign. So the dot product is 14. So fantastic. So these are all functions for you, the if functions and the other functions for you to play with. You are good to go. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel for more of such information. You can follow me for more. I'm just exposing you to the operators, but I will be solving a lot of questions using these rules so that you will get conversant with how to use the data. And so just make yourself confident with this video as I make other videos. I have made a video on how to use the root solve linear equations, how to use the root to solve quadratic equations, how to use the root to solve trigonometries, how to use the root to solve statistics, finding the mean, the mode, and the other mathematical functions. Okay, so just follow my videos, go to the channel, and you get more of such videos. Thank you very much.